Hey, everybody. I want to start by saying I don't think I've ever given a presentation in front of this many people, so the nerves are really real here. But luckily for me, there's not many things I love talking about more than Miatas and wheels. And you guys are lucky we only got 15 minutes, because if it was unrestricted, we'd be here all day. Before we get started, can I just get a show of hands of how many people would say they like cars? Okay. Oh, that's actually a lot of people. All right. So we got like a third of the room here. All right. For those people, I think you're in for a real treat. I think you'll really like what we have to say. But for everyone else, do not worry. We are going to break it down of like what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the numbers behind why it's possible. Go next slide. I'm Anthony. I'm a computer science senior here at WSU. I'm also a software engineering intern down the street at SCL. Before doing all this, I used to work with some of the biggest names in the social media space. And on the weekends, I like to work on cars. Antonio is a WSU business management student. He's also the battalion commander of the WSU AROTC, and he spends his summers wrenching as a mechanic. And before Miata Fitment, we used to work together in high school, and we've been college roommates for the last couple of years. We make a really good team, but to further round the team out, our advisors, we have April Needham, who was the former director of the SP3NW here at WSU before starting her own entrepreneurship consulting firm out in Spokane. She encouraged us to run and has been the glue that holds this team together. Jared Kellenhofer won second place at the PPC with Pixgenie last year, and he helped take our idea of, hey, I want to sell wheels online into a polished plan. Chris Cashin is the founder of Speedy EFI, which is a Miata ECU company out of Spokane too, which is kind of cool. Having scaled a niche Miata business in the past, his advice for growth and sustainability has been so invaluable. All right, problem statement.
All right. So when Miata owners want to modify their cars, the number one thing that is on the forefront of their minds are upgrading the wheels and suspension. This is also then followed by the number one question, will these wheels fit? Now, this may sound simple, but in reality, it's far from it. Choosing the right wheel, tire, suspension setup, it involves complex math. Now, this math includes offset, camber, clearance, tire stretch, all of which can vary depending on the desired setup. A single miscalculation can cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars in wasted parts, damages, returns, or even concerns with safety. And despite such a large community, buyers are forced to guesswork using photo galleries and static photo galleries and online form opinions, or low-res seller pics, and have to attempt to try to piece together their setups. There are no tools that exist which give these enthusiasts a real-time, visual, and reliable way to confirm their fitment before buying. Now, our solution. All right. So our solution is Miata Fitment, a 3D visualizer tailored for Miata owners. Users input tire and suspension specs to see an instant preview of their setup. Before ever spending a single dollar, they can rotate the car, zoom in from any angle, and compare builds side by side. It eliminates guesswork and wasted spending. Once users find their fit, they can shop directly through our marketplace for wheels, tires, and suspension. And services like wheel refurbishing and resurfacing will also be available. Within the 3D visualizer, premium users unlock added features like suspension physics and car customization. In the long term, this tool will be licensed out as a business-to-business service for vendors and shops. Miata Fitment turns uncertainty into confidence, and we aim to turn all browsers into buyers. Now, here's how the software works. So if you orientate yourself to the bottom GIF, this shows the process of a user entering their desired specs. In the end, it is revealed that the setup is not possible, saving them the costly mistake of trial and error without the use of our software. So what exactly can users do? Users select their Mazda Miata generation. From there, they input detailed specs, wheel width, diameter, offset, tire size, camber angle, and suspension setup. Our tool then renders this setup live on a 3D model of a car. The user can then view it from any angle, rotating the car, zooming in, and checking for any clearance issues or rubbing issues. This means users can instantly see what works and what doesn't. They can compare builds side by side, explore fitment options, and only commit when they're confident. The goal here is simple: eliminate misfitment, build buyer confidence, and create a seamless purchasing experience. So the Miata is more than a car, it's a community. With over 1.2 million sold since 1989, it is one of the best-selling and most customized sports cars in the world. In fact, Miata sales are up 20% since 2010. And Spec Miata is now the fastest growing racing class in the US. Our survey data shows 86% of Miata owners have modified their cars, and when they do, they usually start with wheels or suspension. Now, this is an easy upgrade, which instantly improves the car's cosmetic and performance appeal. At the same time, the global car modification market is valued at over $56 billion and expected to grow to nearly $77 billion in the next 7 years. The Miata scene is a passionate and highly fragmented niche, what makes it highly targetable and highly scalable. Better yet, we've already proven the demand. In just a few months, we've reached over 1,400 users across 47 countries, and 13% of them are returning users. We're building a platform where Miata owners can go from inspiration to execution, and the data shows they're ready for it.
All right, so what makes Miata Fitment stand out from our competitors? So our competitors, such as Fitment Industries or Custom Optics, for example, will have static 2D image galleries, like for example, the top left there, and they often list wrong wheel specs. They have limited angles, or they just have pictures of the wheel themselves, such as the bottom, like down there. Our Fitment Visualizer puts all that in the rearview mirror by allowing customers to see all the models and their exact specs before they buy. You wouldn't test drive a car without buying it, and we unfortunately can't let you test drive our wheels, but this Fitment Visualizer is the second best thing. We also target the secondhand wheel market, which is it's good. We also target the secondhand wheel market, which our competition doesn't do. And we also offer sourcing from popular countries such as Japan, where a lot of the cool wheels come from. On top of that, we offer wheel rebuilding services when they hit stateside. We also, as traffic climbs, plan to grow out to new wheels, which locks in the supply and increases our margins. We also have licensable tech. Our 3D visualizer can be used in other industries outside of just wheels. For example, if you had like apartment units you wanted to rent out, we could have 3D like walkthroughs, or if you're selling furniture, anything that's 3D can be like the 3D visualizer can be used for. Our moat goes beyond paper though. Although we are planning on getting a utility patent soon for the Fitment Visualizer, we have a continuous feature pipeline. We have the community locked in, and we're building at a speed and developing a brand recognition that our competition can't follow. All right, our go-to-market strategy. So as I said before this I did social media. So we plan on leveraging my track record to help ship content on big social media platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, car forums, Reddit, anywhere we can get our name out. We also own the domain miatafitment.com, which gives us an SEO flywheel. And for example, to take advantage of this, we'll be doing a gallery where users can input pictures of their car along with wheel specs, which is important because if you go to Google and you Google like the wheel specs 15x9 plus 35 Miata, then our website will pop up in images. The total addressable market is huge. For example, the subreddit r/Miata has over 200,000 users, and we've determined that that's a good, like the online community is good because you already have 1.4 thousand users from just one post on Reddit. So the idea is that we're going to put the market in a chokehold. Once our viral content funnels viewers into users, which end up converting later into buyers, we'll be growing at a rate that our competition can't match. Our rivals must either license our B2B or develop their own software, or they'll just fall behind. And once one company licenses their B2B, we believe it's such a great product that everyone will have to license their B2B, or people will just start falling behind. And the best part about this, if no one does, we continue to scale and we're making money anyway. All right, this is my favorite slide. So since August of last year, we've had 1,400 unique visitors with virtually zero marketing. We have a 13% average user return rate, which is a really good thing because on average, studies show that our returning users are 67% more likely to spend money than first-time users. We have traffic from 47 different countries, which is good because it hedges against the US tariff risks. Just under half our user base is located outside the United States, and we plan on growing that through our marketing campaign. But we could lose the entire United States. It would change how we do business, but the company could stay afloat. The community feedback has been really great. People are saying, like, if you make this complete, the community is going to love you. 89% of users would recommend Miata Fitment to a friend, and only 16% of users would not spend a single dollar with us. And we have a We have a target of 50,000 users in year one, and we plan on growing by 20% each year, which we're currently not growing, but we're not losing users either, and we put no marketing into it. So we think 20% is doable based on the numbers we have now. Okay. Want to take a second real quick to mention the merit prizes. We believe we have best tech venture. We have a unique product. It's not AI, but we do think it's still cool. It solves real problems. A lot of people think it's cool. You should too. We also think we also have the best social impact. I mean, remember everyone in the room who raised their hand for the cars? Like, it's a big community, and we are helping the community out by pushing the standard, and the community seems to be receiving it well. So we think we're doing a good thing here.
All right, so our revenue model. So Miata Fitment generates revenue through two primary channels: product sales and subscription software. On the product side, we sell used and imported wheels. In year one, we're projecting 500 wheel sets at an average of $1,500 per set, including high margin services like wheel refurbishing. Our price strategy is 95% cost to market value. This goal is to build trust, move into inventory faster, and build brand loyalty. On the software side, we offer a $499 a month premium subscription for additional visualizer features with a 5% conversion target. That's $150,000 in year one recurring revenue. This dual model gives us consistent product sales and scalable recurring revenue. So financial projections, we designed Miata Fitment to scale smart and profitably. In year one, we expect to sell 500 wheels, 25 refurbished wheels, and 2,500 software subscriptions, generating $900,000 in revenue and $200,000 in gross profit. This is based off of our surveyed user base, where 70% said that they would purchase a subscription, and 73% said they would consider purchasing wheels from us. So we'll be targeting a 1% and 5% conversion rate, respectively. We do expect a small loss in net loss in year one as we invest in foundational tech, content, and user growth. Our annual operation expenses consist of salaries to include one tech developer, one operations manager, and a part-time content creator who will be pushing marketing to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Additional operation expenses include warehouse leasing, website hosting, and other miscellaneous additional expenses. By year two, we break even, generating profit. From there, we plan to grow 20% per year, adding 2 platforms annually. With our dual revenue streams, we expect 10% net margins starting in year two and continue to grow until we reach $2.67 million in revenue and $860,000 in net income in year 5. So to bring Miata Fitment to life at scale, we're seeking a minimum of $300,000 with an ideal target of $500,000. Funded through angel investment, facilitated by our advisor, April Needham. Our long-term vision is to reinvest 50% of profits back into growth and product, with the other 50% reserved for real inventory by year 5. And if we don't hit our funding goal, we're prepared to bootstrap with a $10,000 very lean launch this summer using our own capital. We're already self-funding, 3D modeling, and building our social presence. Bottom line, we've been bootstrapping and bringing this vision to life since day one, but we didn't just build a product. We solved a real problem in a real community we're already both a part of. We're not testing an idea, we've already validated the demand. And now we're ready to scale. So while everyone else is waiting for the green light, we're already a quarter mile down the road. We're just waiting and asking for the extra fuel to go the full mile. And with your support, we won't just win, we'll take over the entire wheel market. Thank you for your time. Do we have any questions?
Really enjoyed that presentation. A couple things stood out. Obviously, trying to do wheels tech, right? I think there's a lot of areas that you're trying to generate a revenue stream from. I would love to understand, one, the direction of going with maintaining physical inventory versus like creating a marketplace. Could you dive a little deeper into that?
Yeah, totally. So we actually are. So the idea is that we sell. So in Japan, it's where all the cool wheels come from, right? Mm-hmm. And typically they're not inaccessible, but they're a little hard to get into the States. So our plan is to use Japanese auction sites to, we sell the wheels. We help proxy the wheels basically from like those Japanese auction sites. So we are not holding too much inventory. The inventory we would be holding would be the new wheels, which happens kind of in year 5. And like locally sourced wheels. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the second question I have is around the tech itself. Why stop at Miatas if you could easily scale that tech to other cars?
Okay, remember I said I was nervous? I skipped over that part. So the plan is, and the reason why the growth is the way it is we are going to expand to 2 platforms per year after year 1. So the idea is we have about 9-10 platforms at the end of year 5. Because our code base is, at least I've set it up to be relatively plug and play, right? You literally would just, it's conditional statements, right? I don't know if he's a software guy here, but they're all just conditional statements and you can switch the entire website over. The hardest part is getting models. But I know people who do model, it's a little expensive, but we have that kind of sorted. So yes, the answer is we are expanding different platforms and we plan on doing 2 a year after year 1.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
Would you mind putting your financial slide back up? And then what was the breakdown on how you're getting to that 900,000? I see between subscription and wheel revenue, but what are your assumptions for how you're going to get there?
I got it. The assumption for that number is we plan on a user base of 50,000 year 1. Of those, we plan on targeting a 1 in 5% conversion rate on 50,000. 1% is for the wheels. I believe that's 500 wheels sold. And we plan on selling each wheel for about $1,500. And we plan at doing that like a 95% cost to market kind of deal. And we plan on converting 5% into the subscriptions, which 2,500. And we plan doing that $499 a month. And that totals to 150,000. And yeah, there might be a little typo there. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be 200,000, to be honest.
Okay.
No. Oh, I'm bad at math.
No, I think
that actually might pencil out.
I just wanted to understand that. So yeah, going from your 50,000 base, and you said 1.5% conversion, right? 1%. Okay.
Yeah, I think that actually does pencil out. But yeah, we got those numbers from like 70% willingness for subscriptions and 73% willingness for subscriptions and 70% willingness for like considering buying wheels from us. So we think that's a pretty conservative number.
So you put up on examples of other competing products that are out there, but I'm kind of surprised there isn't some other sort of visualization tool out there. Have you guys done some searching, looking? How confident are you with that?
That's all you.
Yeah, so if you go onto any aftermarket website and software, the main way they're going to convey and show their inventory and listings is all just going to be through a static photo gallery of just how the wheels will look on a car, but that's not taking account to how each individual buyer is going to want to have their setup, how they're going to want the ride height, the camber for the wheels, and on those specialized things. So for the most part, everybody is going to have to go through forums unless they don't have most people aren't already experienced with this, especially if it's their first setup. Mm-hmm. So they'll have to go through forums and test through other people's previous setups and kind of just do a lot of guesswork and possibly waste money on products.
So the existing other competitive products that are out there don't have the level of detail or the types of specs that you're
while they're focused on 2D visualizers and static galleries, ours is going to be interactive 3D.
And so sort of related to that, you mentioned your competitive strategies were sort of twofold. You're working on a patent and that you're just moving fast and you're going to capture market share before other people can catch up. What are the aspects that you think are unique and novel that you might be able to protect with your patent?
Well, we have like the models that are our own that we've like got made. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's an early stage. April has said we win this because we talked to April. So that's kind of where we're at. That I wish I had we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but it's all early.
Okay.
If you ask me in a month,
sure.
I could tell you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So building on what you've been getting asked about. So what I've heard, firstly, the enthusiasm is great. So enthusiasm.
We love this stuff. So
super. But I hear you talk about a two-sided marketplace. Mm-hmm. I hear you talk about a 3D visualization platform. I hear you talk about a subscription model. And then I hear us selling hard product. right? I mean, that's sort of where we've gotten through these questions here. So my both feedback and question about this is, what is the business?
Yes.
Right? So, and especially with this first $500,000, right? Because this is all milestone driven. So with the first 500, you've talked about a warehouse, you've talked about some software development, you've talked, right? There's a lot of moving parts here, right? So what is the moat? Where are you actually going to focus here in terms of reaching these first milestones, in terms of either being a two-sided marketplace, being a 3D visualizer, storing wheels? You can't do it all, and you clearly can't do it all for 500K. So where's your thinking as to really how do you focus in on getting to those first milestones to grow the business and defining really what this business is?
Okay, that's actually a really great question, and it's feedback we've heard before. So let me know if this makes sense. So we want to own the entire process from, hey, I want to buy a set of wheels, to we can't put the wheels on your car, but we want we want them to your doorstep, right? So the reason why we have the 3D Fitment Visualizer is because when you go to buy wheels, the number one objection is, how will these fit? And the truth is, everything will fit if you want it to fit bad enough, right? But to a lot of people, it's not clear, and some people don't want to go extreme modifications to fit wheels. So the idea is you're like, hey, I want to buy X set of wheels, and you can go to our fitment visualizer and you can plug in the specs, and you can be like, oh, these do fit, or I need to do this to fit them. And that overcomes those sales objections. And that's a really big deal because not every wheel fits Miatas.
Right, but your gross margins are going to be very different if you're actually selling the wheels themselves, i.e. the warehouse point here,
right,
versus if you're creating a marketplace that allows you to do this 3D, 2D visualization, right? The gross margins are going to be extremely different in how that $500,000 is going to get used, right? So you're clearly still working on it, but I would suggest, right, given, because we're all sort of asking the same sort of questions here, there's a lot of moving parts, right? So where's the money, right? Where's the money? Where's the differentiation? Where's the moat, right? Versus doing it all, right? So the second part of the question is, what am I buying a subscription for? If I buy, and I am not a Miata buyer, I have to say, I go to the car dealer and buy the tires they sell me, but what am I buying a subscription for, right? So if I buy tires once a year, once every 2 years, maybe these people buy them every 6 months, I don't know, right? What else am I, for a subscription, why am I spending $5 a month on a subscription if I'm buying the tires once a year?
Right, so that subscription just gives you more features, stuff that you wouldn't really think about, but is important to people, like your suspension settings, there's spring rates and how that affects the fitment. And
every month?
Every month? No, but you would buy it because you could tweak your fitment and your specs throughout the season. So if you're autocrossing, you'd be autocrossing for 6 months, and you might want to play around with your setup. Or I mean, for me, I buy a lot of Miata parts, right? So if we had a customizable model, you could let people build their dream cars out before they spend any money. And I mean, that takes years.
Right. So, but what I hear you say is there are either other services or now we're talking about other parts, right, that I'm going to get in the subscription. So again, what you may want to really think about is what you're getting for the subscription.
Okay. Thank you. We will, more to be done on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.